name is Peggy Ployhar, and I am on the SPED Homeschool Review Crew, as well as the founder and CEO of SPED Homeschool. And I'm excited to share with you today the review for RightStart's Math tutoring program. And it may not be something you've ever even heard of. I hadn't either until I met the owner at a conference, and she showed me these new books that she has. So I did the unboxing of this a while ago. You can check out the video. It'll be in the description below if you want to see the unboxing and everything that's involved. I'm going to try to cover a lot of it in this review, but I may miss a few things just because I want to point out the highlights of what this program does, how it can be helpful for your student, and just like I said, some highlights there. But this is what the books look like. They are a tutoring program, and that may sound like, why would I get a tutoring program in a book? Basically, what this is meant to do is for a struggling math student to fill in the gaps. And what parent isn't looking for that who's a struggling math student? Because a lot of times they get to those older grades and we get to the more complex mathematical concepts, and we find that they didn't always remember. Not that we probably didn't teach them, but they didn't always remember what we taught them, and especially on these difficult things like number sense and fractions. That's why these two books and this program exists. So what is this all about? Well, so I gave this to a family for a while, and the mom who reviewed it said, "This is amazing." She absolutely loved it. Can't wait to get it back because I borrowed it for the review. But I just want to read some of the things that she sent to me in this review. She goes, "We would definitely recommend this program when anyone asks about curriculum for basic level math. It inspired me to look at more information on this website." So she has a son actually who has a lot of memory loss, and they were having large gaps that they were having to refill. And so maybe your child has small ones, large ones, they're going to go through this either quicker or slower, but that's what this program is made for. So let's dive into it just a little bit. In the fractions one, there is also a workbook that goes with it. I'll lean down and grab that. Looks like this. Very small. Okay, this is all you need to accomplish this task. These pages, let me show you one here. For instance, we're going into division, and of course that's what fractions are, and helping kids maybe bridge that gap if they never caught that concept in the curriculum you've used in the past. Or if you're just introducing fractions and you want some supplemental material, I'd also recommend it for that, especially because there's lots of games. And so if you have a math curriculum that isn't that engaging for your student, just know that this one is chock full of games. And actually, as part of the curriculum, it has game days built in. And that was one of the highlights that my reviewer said was for her son, is that he loved the games. And she pulled in her mom, who had a stroke recently and was having a hard time remembering things too. And they would play the games together. And she said it helped the memory of both of them. Just something to think about. But fractions often, when we learn them, we don't conceptualize or embed in us enough the value of one fraction versus another fraction. So I love that one of the games here is war. And of course you have to know which one has the higher value in order to move on. And what a fun way to do that. But yes, there are lots and lots of lessons. There's cards for the card games, and a whole bunch more involved in that. There's a fraction chart in here, and there's a bigger one too that comes with the set, as well as all these little pieces. So I'm going to show you this. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but this is what it looks like. And also you get all these little pieces in the same size. And when you're playing some of the games, for instance, at an eighth here, your child gets to see the size of it compared to the size of a ninth, an eighth and a ninth. Well, it's just a little bit smaller. Yes, it is. It's just a little bit smaller. So for kids who are really visual and tactile, and they need to get down to the nitty-gritty of what's the difference. This is really helpful. And that's the same true for the number sense and getting down to the nitty-gritty of that, because this program on the other half, the half that's dealing with number sense, is helping your student to understand why certain addition, subtraction, and it's also working a lot on these memorized skills of adding, subtracting, doing math in your head, but in fun ways, so kids don't feel like, oh, they're drilling and killing me more. So one way they do that is using this balance. And I want to show you the size, because I can show you what it looks like, and they actually demonstrate it through pictures in the workbook. See, you can see it right there, but it's huge. And it's got all these little tiles right here that hang on it, and if it equals one side to the other, it will balance. And so a child knows right away. They can check their work. Is this equivalent to this? Yes. And then they know that they got it right, or they can play around with it and go, oh, well, maybe it should be bigger or smaller. And that helps their brain to kind of pull those ideas together on their own, instead of somebody just correcting them and saying, well, that's right, that's wrong. They will actually have an experience with it. And experiences are so important for learning concepts. So again, more math games that come with this, but also an abacus. But it's not your traditional abacus, and I'm really impressed with this. I'm moving more stuff around. You'll see on the top of this abacus, yes, abacus, is that you've got ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. And they show you how to use it as just a regular one, but also like this for higher math. Now, that is extremely important, because as you get students subtracting numbers like this in the thousands, they can easily do that by moving these things up and down. Ooh, what a concept. And so it just makes a lot of sense. Very visual and concrete for students, and they again can easily go back, see if they've made any mistakes, because you can leave the thousands place in the thousands place, sorry, wrong side, I'm doing a video backwards, and the hundreds in the hundreds, and they can write the number down and say, oh, did I transcribe it right? Let's check again, and it's right there. So anyways, you can see that I'm highly praising this this curriculum, and like I said, tons of games involved in this. That's what RightStart Math has a lot of games. And even if you go to their website, I do want to let you know that they in the past have had just free card games that enhance math skills. So that if you just kind of want to try out their concept to see how it might go with your student before you do this, that may be a way to get started. But definitely check them out, especially if you have a student with lots of gaps. Maybe they're on the older end, or kind of moving towards the end of elementary school, maybe even into middle school, and they have some sticking points. You want to address them now, because if you don't, it's going to make math even more difficult the further on you keep pushing and going without filling those gaps. So thank you, RightStart, for allowing us to review your curriculum, and you can find out more in the written review. The link will be down below, and then join us again next time here on the SPED Homeschool YouTube channel for another Review Crew review. Thanks, everybody.